This is COLM McGuigan for IFLTV. Do you know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to have to. It's me and Eddie pranking.
I know.
Did you actually know?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
How did you know?
Because the way the messages were written, it's like you were trying to do a shit version of small talk. Right?
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you the backstory, right? Because no one knows this.
Yeah.
So you don't even know this. So I messaged on that number.
Yeah.
I need to be careful. Sam Jones a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I pretended to be Dana White. So he messaged.
Oh, mate, he's been ringing me.
Right? So Eddie, he done the same to Eddie. So we started messaging him today when we were in the car and we got him to send a selfie. I'll show you after. It's hilarious.
So
right?
you've proper done.
So we've done Sam Jones, but Eddie FaceTimed him. With you, I didn't want to bring it that far.
No,
but
you also knew. That
you knew something was up, but you thought it was Brian Peters. You didn't think it was me.
Yeah. Okay. But I know what you're all like.
And I seen you walking past me.
I was looking, right. So when I walked out, I went to Eddie, because when I first got it, I realised you were all in the car together, and the language in that message, right? You think you can disrespect?
That was Eddie's idea.
What goes around comes around.
Yeah, that was Eddie.
That's just not.
Let's not read the
grammar
rest
is
of
too good.
Well, that was all Eddie's.
No, but the bit of you heard what I said, you'll get yours. Like
that was Eddie.
Yeah, I know. I spent my life. So when I got that one, I thought, oh, and then if you're in AC, I'll pull up. And I knew then, and then I put the thumbs up. I thought, but I knew it was someone. I'm too quick. I'm too quick for you lot.
To be fair, but we will get someone else this week, so it'll be alright.
You won't get me there.
No, Frank, we're here for a massive event in AC. What does it mean for Matchroom to come somewhere like the Boardwalk Hall for an iconic event like this? Last time, were you here for the last fight when you guys were here?
I was here for Froch Ward, which was the World Boxing which was the Super 6 series, wasn't it? Yeah. I wasn't even old. I was 17. It was in this hotel here.
How did you get in? Because you have to be 21 over here normally, right? Just let us.
Sneaky. No, but you can be in the hotel.
Can't be in the casino, though.
No. That's like this, right? And I was 17 years old. So this place, I have a lot of memories here. But it has a lot of history in the sport of boxing, doesn't it? When you think here are some of the names that have boxed at Boardwalk Hall over the years. And to do a huge event, because it's partly a risk in some ways, coming somewhere when Eddie said it in the press conference, when you have been so successful elsewhere, and we're risking money as well when we do this. You're taking a chance, and it's going to be nearly sold out in there, if not sold out, come Saturday night.
What does a gate return on something like that? Because obviously, notoriously American
dollars,
funny, but with American gates, they're always quite lucrative. Will this gate be high? Like, what are you kind of predicting?
It's a good gate. It's a very strong gate.
Not going to give me more than that?
No.
It'll come out at some point, though.
If it comes out, then you can see it. If it's not public, then... Sorry, mate.
It's all right. In terms of this event and what it means for Boots Ennis, do you envisage a situation where Boots fights Gaisov because he's the mandatory? Do you think...
Look, I think Boots at the same time will want unifications. But as part of this deal to get it together, we represent Chakram Gaisov. We did a deal to step aside for this fight. He's got a fight on the undercard, obviously, but he wants his shot at the world title as well. He's fairly put himself in the position to have that shot at the world title. So we'll see. There's been talk as well previously about 154, but I don't think either of the guys are looking past Saturday night. Boots knows what Stanionis brings. It's a real fight. You've got to focus on Saturday night, and then from there we'll make the plans.
Will Crocker or Donovan be in attendance?
No. There was some talk about it at one point, but not currently.
Talk to me a little bit about that fight. Eddie said today, he's wanting to speak to the government in Belfast. I kind of put forward the idea of a card for Anthony Kiko Martinez in a Titanic slipway. Is that something that's been considered?
I mean, the issue is with someone like, and I'm sure if you speak to those guys when they did that, when you're going to a venue like the Titanic, which isn't a venue in a sense of it's just a space, it's real costly to put together. There's been conversations, and I'm in conversations, with Jamie Conlon as well. He's obviously had the history of putting on the events in the park with his brother, over the years. But there's been discussion. Look, there's a lot of conversations going on, lots to think about. There's obviously also the venue where we did the first fight, the arena, which
it is a
bit bigger. Yeah, it is, but the problem is with these stadium shows, you need to sell enough tickets to make it worthwhile for all the extra costs.
Fair enough.
You know, so it's balancing out, but we're working through it now. Look, Eddie is very much of the view he wants to do in the stadium. I, as always, look at the numbers and the reality. So, you know, that's where we work through now and see where we land.
I'm sure you're probably the perfect person to ask about this outside of the matchroom lawyers. The whole situation with Ben Shalom, with Queensbury, Liam Cameron, Ben Whittaker. We've seen today Simon Jordan. I'm sure you've seen it as well on TalkSport. What do you make of that whole situation?
What, Simon Jordan? Simon Jordan must have got out of his investment because it's the first time he's ever slagged Ben Shalom off, isn't it? To be honest, I don't know. As always, it's quite nice to be on the outside of things. Do you know what I mean? When you're not
Can you
involved.
foresee a situation where this can happen, though, or has it ever been close to happening at Matchroom? Has it ever happened at Matchroom?
But it's about level of detail and care, isn't it? You know, this is talking about elite level business of a sport, and you need to be across it. So, you know, I don't know. It's not my place to judge.
But
in a sense of like, if someone made that mistake from our end, you'd be in a heap of shit, wouldn't you? Really. It's a terrible
what would be
mistake.
the ramifications? Say, for example, right?
You have to be careful because
we'll throw Jay Singh into this,
employment law, don't you? So whatever, and you can't just get rid of a lawyer like that because I'm sure you'll get in trouble. So whatever the lawyers say. But look, it's an error, isn't it? It's a human error. It's a mistake that's happened. And like Liam Cameron, I understand Liam Cameron's position. Like the person who's really come out of this worse is Ben Whittaker. Like they've embarrassed him, really. Like forget everything. Like Ben Whittaker is the person who is now people going, what, you don't want to fight 12 rounds? Even though he might not have ever agreed to 12 rounds. Do you know what I mean? It's not Ben Whittaker's fault, but they've embarrassed him really with this position. And it's just like, it seems to be like digging holes never ending. Because I saw the interview with Ben where he said, no, it's all settled. Then Liam Cameron came out and said, no, it's not, we're doing 12 rounds. So it's like, don't dig holes until, you know. The problem is when you don't make friends over the years, people aren't going to go out their way to help you, right? And if you make an honest mistake, right, as much as there's a lot of arseholes in the business of boxing, if you make an honest mistake, usually there'd be a level of, you know, relationship where you go, look, I fucked up and need to, you know. And sometimes it doesn't always work. Sometimes it's beyond that. But where you haven't got enough friends, it makes it hard to have those conversations. People aren't going to go out their way to help you. They're going to want reward for it, and rightly so. Why should Liam Cameron change his deal just because someone's made a mistake? Liam Cameron had a deal, fair play. And if you were representing Liam Cameron, if I was, you'd all have the same position, wouldn't you? You go, respectfully, we agreed to this fight, this is what we agreed to. You know, it's your problem. You got to deal with it. And whether that's financial, whether that's like all these things, that's what they got to go through. But people do make mistakes. People make errors, you know, and it's what it is. I'm glad I'm not involved. Good luck to them all.
Frank, I want to get your thoughts on yesterday. Do you feel Katie Taylor was disrespected?
Look, I think it's a carry-on from the last press conference. I think Katie Taylor has changed the sport and deserves all the credit. Like, not all the credit, obviously. Like, so much credit for what she's done. You know, from the amateur ranks, you know, what she did to allow or to help get females boxing in the Olympics, you know, that whole story that's been told time and time again. And I think she deserves so much credit. She's not an outspoken person, you know. She's won 2 fights, and the reality is, like she said in the press conference yesterday, they need her. Katie Taylor is the biggest. You know, you can talk about Amanda Serrano as the most highest paid athlete ever in. Katie Taylor is the most recognised female fighter, right? And
why is she not the highest paid female though?
Well, yeah, but it's only what they're saying, isn't it? Have you seen her bank account, Amanda Serrano's bank account, personally? Do you know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and say I am the wealthiest man.
To be fair, you're close to
in the Brighton postcode of whatever.
You probably are.
No, there's some very expensive houses where I live, and I do not live in a house. But I can say whatever I want, can't I? You can say whatever you want. You're not sitting there going, I could get me a bank account up. So what I'm trying to say is, they're sitting there going, Amanda Serrano is the highest paid female athlete of all time, or whatever.
There has to be some substance when you're saying that publicly, though. No,
it's just like anything in life, isn't it? You're going to go and check. Are you going to go and check? Have you checked Amanda Serrano's bank account personally to validate that point? I haven't. I can't be bothered. But it's a sale. It's a talking point, isn't it? So for them to go, and don't get me wrong, they've done a tremendous job with Amanda Serrano, but without Katie Taylor, I don't think it would be in the position. Is it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
what do you think of MVP coming along? Ellie Scottney, Ramla Ali, these fighters that were with you and now that are with them. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's great for the sport. I've always said it. Any new investment into the sport is great for the sport. You know, I think MVP, when you look at the production, you look at what they've done, they're doing a great job. And they're paying fighters well. Great. That's brilliant. I think sometimes it should never take away from what's been done in the past. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we did a good job, a great job, with female boxing at a time where people weren't investing in female.
But then do you look at someone like Ellie Scottney, who now is going to, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but MVP will get all the plaudits for the now her career going forward?
It's what it is, isn't it? That's life. You shouldn't, it's like, this present day moment shouldn't eradicate what's been done in history. Do you know what I mean? So, like, and
did it just not make business sense to renew when you had that first last, like Eddie said on?
No, it's all commercial, isn't it? At the end of the day, other people come into the sport, and we've seen it. Not just in female, in other parts of boxing, someone comes in, invests loads of money, and you can sit there and go, do you know what, is it worth it? No. It's only, is it worth it for you? Or can you make it commercial sense of that? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. It doesn't mean that someone hasn't got this value or that value. Ultimately, everyone's value is what someone is willing to pay. And in a sport that we're in, that is a hard sport, a dangerous sport, people deserve to make as much money as possible. So for someone like Ellie Scottney, I texted her after, and I said, been a pleasure to be involved in your career. I'm so happy for you. Good luck. Because she's making a shitload of money. And happy days. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't look at it like that. But the key thing for me is not forgetting what's been done in the past to get to that point. That's all I'd say.
I interviewed Jake Paul yesterday, and he said that he spoke to Anthony Joshua, and they've agreed to fight in 2026. What do you know about that?
I mean, that's going to end well for Jake Paul, isn't it? I'm delighted if that fight happens. I mean, it's not. I don't think it should be sanctioned as a professional fight. I mean, why would you not do it if you're Anthony Joshua?
Eddie said today he'd rather it happen next.
Oh mate, whenever. But you're talking about an Olympic gold medalist, multiple heavyweight champion of the world, going in against a YouTuber who got beat by Tommy Fury.
So, based on what you're saying right now, why have you not even followed up on these conversations yet with Jake Paul to make it happen next? Because you're looking for a fight for AJ, right?
Jake Paul is actually he's desperate. Like, if you look at it, Jake, like this thing of Jake Paul is the biggest star in like, no. When there's a narrative, i.e. fighting Mike Tyson, a legend of yes, huge, massive. But look at him now, he can't get an opponent to sell a fight.
So could you not knock his door down and say, AJ, I'll do it next, pay us 100 million?
We're not desperate.
No, you're not desperate, but you need a fight for AJ, no?
Yeah, but there's loads of fights for AJ.
It's a nice day one fight before.
AJ is the most, like when you look at from a commercial standpoint in the heavyweight division, if anyone wants to make money, they need to fight AJ, right?
Yeah.
And if I was Anthony Joshua and you said you can fight this geezer who is absolutely useless, don't get me wrong, useless in the sense of he's better than me. So I'm not saying that I could beat him. So this isn't me
Frank
calling
Smith
him out.
Versus Jake Paul next.
No, but why on earth would you? If there was a huge amount of money, the easiest nights were happy days.
So, gun to your head, does it happen in the next 12 months?
No, I don't think so. I'm not saying
what does happen for AJ next? Gun to head. Opponent. First one comes to mind. Who do you think?
Can I say two?
Yeah.
Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. I think they're two huge.
Have you had discussions about either yet?
Not really. I mean, there's been discussions in a sense of like they're great fights, but at the same time, you've seen Anthony Joshua back training. He's been a lot of clips out and about recently. He needed that time to make sure he was right, because this is the biggest decision of his career, if that makes sense. Like whatever he does next is the biggest decision. If he rushes and makes the wrong decision, it's over. And I think that's been the thing to do. Look, how many fighters have we seen? Like AJ is 35, 36, I think. How many fighters have we seen? Like Zhilei Zhang's come back into the heavyweight division at the age of 40.
Yeah.
it's a mad division. Like, it's a mad sport. And people are written off time and time again in the sport, right? I think AJ is still the biggest commercial star in the heavyweight division. And up there, one or two, you know, with Canelo, etc., in boxing as a whole. So it's not, you don't have to rush it. You have to make the right decisions at the right time.
Last one from me. Logistically, Times Square. I know you're going to be there. Eddie said it's a bit of a logistic head loss moment for everyone.
Oh, his head's gone. Logistically, he's stressed. You know, Eddie, I haven't seen him so stressed in a lot of time. Go on.
Is there going to be fans at it?
I mean, there's going to be seats there. It's very limited. It's a small area. Like, you've seen
Joe Blogs in the public walking around Times Square. Is he going to be able to see it from a distance?
Depends where he is, doesn't it? Like, if he's up on level 47 of a building.
Okay, media. There's been nothing to us media yet.
It's all ongoing. It's a process. It's a process. It's a huge event, obviously a huge spectacle. As you can imagine, it's a very small area. Like, you're talking about Times Square. You got to put a boxing ring in there, a canopy, like production, everything like that. So
per Helen Moxon,
yeah. But logistically, Eddie Hearn is absolutely. He's stressed out. He's losing his head.
He is. He's losing his head. We'll end on that one, Frank. It's always a pleasure on IFLTV, and we look forward to catching up again this week, mate.
Cheers for the text.